guys, welcome back to Mom Mode Unfiltered, the podcast where motherhood meets movies, gossip, internet drama, and the realest parts of life. My name is Ivy, your host for today, and this is going to be a space where we get to talk about the things that matters to us, whether what's going on in our own homes, in Hollywood, or halfway around the world in somebody's TikTok feed. No fake perfection, no pretending we've got it all figured out. Maybe. Just a real messy and beautiful chaos of life. And now that everything is being recorded and watched, here we are, right? And today's topic is about that viral. I think it's been viral since last month. I'm not sure if it's still viral because I've never seen my FYP. It's that couple in a Coldplay concert caught in a jumbotron. Former CEO Astronomer Andy Barra and former HR Director Christine Cabot. So the story is they were caught in a very cozy moment on the jumbotron at a packed stadium, and it's the kind of clip that can change your life in literally seconds. So we'll talk about it, what happened, why it matters, and the ripple effect moments like this can have on your personal and professional life. Before we get into that juicy topic, so I wanted to share a little bit of what happened the other day. I was dropping my son to grandma's house and he struck a conversation. So he said, Mommy, I was trying to call you last night. It's like, what happened, baby? Well, remember I made a castle and I brought some food there. I got my water, I got my food, and then just beside my castle is Watson's pet. And Watson is our old dog. And when I was trying to get another stuff, Mommy, I stepped on his bed and it's wet. And as far as I know, I didn't spill anything. And so here's what I did. So I cleaned. There's a little bit of a puddle though, so I clean it and then I pick up the bed and put it outside. Yes, and I ask him, are you sure that's Watson pee? I stepped on a pee puddle, Mom. So yes, it is pee. And I was like, okay, well, thank you. Mom is just gonna clean the bed. Now this might seem like just a small talk, funny little story, but as a mom, it really struck me because what he did was take action without me. He recognized a problem, figured out a solution, and handled it the best way he knew how. And he did it all before I even knew there was an issue. I just found out when we were driving that day. You know, it's a reminder that independence in kids doesn't come from hovering over them every second. It comes from giving them the space to try to solve problems. And sometimes, to make mistakes along the way. But they learn from it. They process it in their little tiny brain, the issue. And honestly, watching my 5-year-old confidently handle a situation, pee puddle and all, is one of those proud parenting moments. It's a little glimpse into the capable person he will be when he grows up. So yeah, what do you guys think? Have had something like that? Share your mom moments with your child, their independence, because I know I've watched a lot of those videos where kids cook by themselves. They're exploring, they're growing, they're evolving.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
from Old Man Watson to this Coldplay scandal that's been making the rounds last month. Okay, so let's again picture it. You're in a stadium packed with fans. Coldplay is on stage. Chris Martin is doing his thing, singing, joking, engaging the crowd. I guess he's been doing that for quite a while. And then comes one of his concert tradition, which is the Jumbotron song. And he warned people about it. So there's that. And then the camera zooms in on couples in the audience, right? Catching the reactions. Sometimes people wave, sometimes they do kiss, sometimes they look embarrassed. It's all part of the fun in that concert. And then the camera lands on this cute couple. At first, oh, that's so sweet, right? You just like they're just hugging. But that time you don't know that they're Andy Byron and of course the HR of the company. So they're hugging each other, they're clinging to each other, and you see the certain energy between them. They're so sweet, like any other couple. And then the reaction, that Chris makes a playful comment, the crowd reacts, and then they both quickly duck down like they've been caught doing something they shouldn't. The famous ducking down and covering the face. In any other situation, it might have just been a funny, awkward concert moment, right? But the person who shared this to say it's just their reaction is so funny, so she uploaded it in the internet. So the internet is basically an army of detectives with Wi-Fi. Always remember that. Within hours, people had figured out exactly who they were. And here's where the plot thickens. Both were married, not to each other, but to other people. It went from funny concert clip to corporate scandal. Yeah, in less than 24 hours. And it gone for days. It went on for days. And once the story broke, there was no putting the toothpaste back in the tube. Within days, both Andy and Christine resigned from their roles at Astronomer. Yeah. And just one clip can change your life forever. And just when you think the story can get any stranger, in comes Gwyneth Paltrow. Yes, that Gwyneth, appearing in a satire PR video as Astronomer's temporary spokesperson. It was bizarre. It was awkward. And it kept the story in headlines even longer. And I think it's still showing, but it's just not as far as it goes. But if you search for it, still going. Now, consequences and the legacy, because I guess these are big people. Here's where I want to pause and really talk about what this means, not just for them, but for anyone in a leadership role, or in an ordinary person's life, or honestly, anyone living in today's always online world. Everybody, when you're a CEO or an HR director, your job isn't just about your task, it's about trust. You're the face of the company, and people look to you as an example of the values and integrity the company stands for. And when you mess up, especially in such a public way, it's not just your problem anymore. No, absolutely not. It becomes a company problem, a culture problem, a trust problem. And I experienced that before, the cheating part, but that's going to be another story. Anyways, employees start to wonder if the rules apply equally to everyone, right? You have that question in your head. So the board has to manage public perception. This is a big deal. It's a big company. It's $1 billion company. And suddenly what you did in your personal life is affecting the livelihoods of dozens or hundreds of other people. Can you imagine when you're going to work and a lot of people create a skit for that? But it doesn't end there, because these kinds of scandals have a ripple effect that spreads far beyond the office. They hit home. Oof. Literally, they do. Your spouse feel it, your kids feel it, your parents hear about it, your friends get dragged into gossip they never wanted to be a part of. Your name becomes a trending topic, and we become a meme now too. And people who've never met you suddenly have opinions about you, including me. This is a very good topic for Mom Mode Unfiltered. And here's the part that I think people underestimate: the internet is forever. So whatever I'm sharing right now, this is gonna be forever. Long after you've moved on, this story will still be searchable. This video will still be floating around. Your kids, who could be teenagers one day, or maybe they're already teenagers, Googling your name, and this is what pops up. It's very sad, honestly. So I have to ask, and this is a question for all of us. Is this the kind of legacy we want to leave behind? Is that the legacy that we wanted to leave behind for people around us? Because mistakes happen. Yeah, but that's not a mistake though. They made that choice. When you're in a visible position, you have to think not just about your own feelings in the moment, but about the long-term impact on everyone connected to you. And I guess that time they didn't think about it. Yep. So here's my take about that. About it. As a mom, watching this whole thing unfold just reinforced something I already knew. Life can change in an instant, especially when it's public. Because everybody has a phone, everybody has a camera. We live in a world where everyone can just take their camera out and hit the upload button or record button, and you can be recorded without even realizing it. And once it's online, you have zero control over how far it spreads or how people interpret it. Like, you can put something in the internet and this is your perception, but other people's perception is different. It can be good to you, but it can be bad to others. And here's the thing: you don't have to be a CEO for this to matter. Even in our everyday lives, we need to be mindful of how our action could be perceived when we're in the public space. Not in a paranoid way, but in a way that protects our integrity and the people we love. Again, people always can pull out their phone outside. For me, this whole story is a reminder that our actions, either big or small, send ripples out into the world. Especially what I'm doing right now. And those ripples don't just touch us, they touch everyone around us. So they share, this podcast can be shared. People can like it, can view it. It's like they can share it to people. It's just that effect. So what do you think? Was the fallout here justified, or was it internet overreaction? I mean, kind of overreaction, but they're in the wrong, because cheating is bad, right? You cannot justify it one way or another. Either way, this is a perfect example of how one public moment can have lifelong consequences, not just for you, but for everyone connected to you. So think about it. Always be mindful what you're doing out in the public. Okay? So thanks for hanging out with me for today's episode of Mom Mode Unfiltered. If you enjoyed this, share it with a friend, leave a review, And I do have a blog version of this story at stargazerivy.blogspot.com if you want to read more about it. Until next time, stay aware, stay real, and remember, someone's always watching you. So be kind, be gentle, love your family, love your friends. Peace.